Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
How old are you, Jamie?
I am 74. I'll be 75 in August.
And tell me how long you've lived in Ojai.
30 years.
30 years. And you had children in
I
Ojai?
have children, yes.
Yes. Okay, and you have one daughter who still lives in Ojai, right?
One daughter still lives here. My other daughter works here, but after COVID, she moved to Ventura
I
because
got
it
it.
was less expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jamie, can you tell me how you lost your housing and how you ended up living at City Hall?
certainly, yes. Um, I have a heart condition, and so I have a son in Texas, and he is a psychiatric RN. And between my son and my daughter here that still works here, they were trying to convince me my son wanted to take care of me for the and he wanted to get me in on the trial things for my heart, and
Hmm.
because he works at the Methodist Hospital, which is a really large hospital. It's a medical and the psychiatric part, and and so I didn't want to leave. It broke my heart.
You didn't want to leave Ojai?
No, but I do have two other grandsons. I have four grandchildren here.
Mm-hmm.
I have two other grandsons in Texas, and I had not spent a lot of time with them than being in Texas.
And you had to leave Ojai to go to Texas because of housing?
Housing was what, well, I couldn't, because we lived in a house right behind Vaughn's,
Yep,
and there were three of us paying the rent there,
I understand.
and I couldn't afford the rent by myself.
Okay. So your
So,
kids moved out
and yeah,
and you were left paying all of the rent, and that was
and
too expensive. I understand. So
it
you went to
was,
Texas to live with your son.
and so my son could get me in the heart trials, and I had no idea until I got there. My son is an alcoholic.
I know you had a really challenging time in Texas, so you don't have to share if you don't feel
Thank
comfortable.
you. A lot of things happen.
Yeah.
So I came back here, and and um, and I couldn't afford housing.
Yep.
So we got me on all of the lists and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and actually I was also on the list to pay part of the rent, maybe by helping someone at their house, and um, I got a little worse physically,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to where I could not only take care of myself, and so I couldn't help for part of the rent any longer.
Mm-hmm. Well, where were you living when you first came back to Ojai?
Well, when I first came back to Ojai, I stayed at Motel 6
Okay.
for a little while
Okay.
in Ventura, but when I first came back to Ojai, I came here,
Okay.
and I was paying for Motel 6, and I was running out of money all the time, and my daughter, which she's a precious young lady, but she kept borrowing more and more money
Mm-hmm.
for me to pay for the motel.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept telling her, Caitlin, I just want to get a tent. I just want to get a tent because I'd heard about this place.
You'd heard about City Hall. Yep.
I just want to get a tent and go to City Hall. And she was afraid for me to come here. She was afraid because you hear stories that might be, you know, and uh, and I came here and I found out that mostly the stories that you hear about homeless people are just all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're just all wrong. There's beautiful, intelligent people here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're my very good friends, and I'm so happy that they are, and it's actually, well, like I said, I really miss this place,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy that most of the people here will be with me when whenever wherever we are,
Yeah.
and because I call a couple of people as here my adopted sons,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
They're just wonderful, beautiful people here, and Diane, my very good friend, and just there's lovely people.
So you've
here.
made a lot of friends here.
Yes,
Um,
thank God.
Jamie, let me ask
Yes.
you, do you feel safe here? Do you
I
feel
do.
safe in your tent?
I do.
Yeah.
I feel safe here, and that's because of the friends. There are a couple of guys here who would keep us safe no matter what. They, nothing's happened,
Yeah.
but they would be here for all of us, ladies especially, but anyone.
Yeah.
And so yes, I feel very safe. And now we have a guard,
Mm-hmm.
so so I feel completely, totally safe
Good.
now. And yes, and maybe feel safe.
Yeah. Let me ask
And
you another question. So you had the experience of camping out
yes,
here in the dirt,
yes,
and then you
I
moved
was,
into a tent on the platform. Can you talk to me about what it was like camping here in your own tent and then moving to this heavy duty tent on the platform?
it was almost like moving into a real home.
Yeah.
You know, I had a room that I could decorate, and it was almost like having a real home.
Let me ask you another question, Jamie. So I think you heard that the Ojai Avenue property is not going to work for
I did hear that. Yes.
the housing development for the folks living here. And there are, so initially when the housing was going to go here at Kent Hall, the neighbors were upset. And then when it's going to Ojai Avenue, the business owners were upset, or concerned, I should say. So what would you say to neighbors or business owners who are concerned about having housing for homeless people in their neighborhood?
What I would say is that we understand what they're thinking also, and that we're going to try really hard to be really good neighbors, and we don't want to cause anyone any trouble.
Yeah.
We talk all the time, and all of us feel that way. So we, but we totally understand, especially being right there by Sea Fresh, and it would be nice for us,
Yeah.
because I love Sea Fresh, and plus the old Western just right there. That would be nice, but I understand, but we don't want to cause anyone any problems.
Yeah.
And so we would all, and there's really good people here, and there's a lot of people here who have jobs, and want to work, and it would just be transitional for them.
Yeah.
And so we love Ojai.
Yeah.
We want to do right. We
Yeah.
want to do right. We love and we respect Ojai.
Yeah.
Very much so. We've uh, we've had so much help here,
Yeah.
and there's some really fine people all over Ojai, and I'm so grateful, and we all are very grateful, and just we want to do right, and
Yeah.
we and there's not bad people here.
Thank you, Jamie.
There's a couple of people who have mental things, but there's no bad people here.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to say that I didn't ask you about that you
I
think's
don't think
important?
so. You're so good.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you. Thank you so
All
much to
right.
both of
Thank you.
you.
That was a great interview.
Oh, I hope so.